Hello everyone and welcome back to just a quick thing before we get into the video. Today's video is more of a discussion, so I'll just kind of be ranting, talking about things revolving Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Dead by Daylight, and I will have background music and background gameplay and some images here and there to kind of help go over what I'm going for. But just in case, anyway, we're looking for like a gameplay video or something. That's not it today. Today will be strictly a discussion video. But I hope you all enjoy the video, and let's get into it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I will be going over my thoughts on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that had just released about, I think it's almost exactly a week from today, if I'm not mistaken, as well as the inevitable comparison between it and the king of asymmetrical horror games, Dead by Daylight. So yes, if y'all enjoy the content, please consider supporting me in any kind of way, and let's get into it. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where do I start? I've been playing it for the entirety of this week. It has been an incredible game, and honestly, it has been one of the most fun games that I've ever played at the day of me getting it. Sometimes, usually, with other games I've tried, with Until Dawn, or even sometimes Mortal Kombat when I first tried it out, it felt dull at first until I started getting past the whole beginner stage, I guess one could say. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's just bam, bam, bam. It is fun no matter what you play. You play victim, it is fun, at least until you get killed. If you're playing as family, it is always fun, unless if they're just hiding the entire game, which I've only had occur once. So, and again, even in a situation such as that, it has been incredibly thought out that if they're just gonna hide the whole match, you and the rest of the family members can collect blood to feed Grandpa, which allows him to detect them no matter where they are when he gets to level 5. That's an incredible mechanic, and is a much better and much well thought out mechanic than the Crow I'm not even sure if you call it a system. The Crow mechanic, where if you stand still for too long in Dead by Daylight or hide in a locker too long, crows will start surrounding you, and eventually the killer will get a noise notification. But I've had people many times, I guess not too many, a couple times, just slowly crouch walking across the entire map. I believe one time they said they were able to get around 6 times without me ever knowing where they were. And in the end, that resulted in an escape. I don't know. That's obviously not a very viable way to play, but it obviously works because I've seen some people do it. Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is by far one of the funnest games that I have played on launch. It is a very well thought out game, honestly. You would think that having 3 killers, or family members in this sense, would be overpowered, and while yes, the killer role is definitely the more powerful side or oppressive side of the game, they really aren't that powerful. If the survivors know what they're doing, their victims know what they're doing, the victims can get a couple escapes as well. Since there's 4 exits, you obviously can't keep, say you wanted to camp, each family member could camp an exit, but that still leaves 1 exit open. Again, similar to how there's 2 exit gates, but only 1 killer. So yeah, very, very well thought out game, including various mechanics such as the blood collection and Grandpa mechanic, which you would have never thought would have actually happened. Yeah, it's just overall fun. As you may see in some of the background gameplay, I've been trying and practicing for a Grandpa stabbing build. That sounds so wrong. But yeah, Bloodthirsty Lord, I was just watching yesterday, so credit to him. He has officially gotten to 19 stabs on Grandpa before dying. So yeah, I've been trying to practice it, and hopefully, eventually I can try and obtain that world record, because that would be I would love to try and get that. So yeah, if I ever am able to make it past, I don't know, 9, 10. I've currently gotten to 5 without dying, so I'm gonna keep trying. But if I get past 10, I am definitely gonna record it and try and get the world record. But by the time that happens, there'll probably be someone else who's already taken Bloodthirsty Lord's record. Yeah, just overall, it is a fantastic game, and honestly, it's a very, very good game. I would 100% recommend it. At no point throughout playing have I felt like the $52 I spent on it has been wasted. And if you all enjoy it, I am definitely going to keep posting more of it, especially with some of the rumored / leaked characters coming, which seem to be interesting. But I cannot wait to see the future of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I hope one day that they include a family member that utilizes the blood mechanic. Now, on to the inevitable comparison between Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight has been the king of asymmetrical horror games for almost 8 years now. 7.5, I believe it would be right now. So yeah, there have been many, many games that have not necessarily tried to take the crown from Dead by Daylight, but have tried to exist in their own light, such as Friday the 13th, a game made by the same developers of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which, in my opinion, is one of the biggest competitors Dead by Daylight have ever had. But then, because of the lawsuit, that just shot that bird down. There was, what was it called? Last Year? Last Year was a game that was in the asymmetrical horror genre. But yeah, there's other ones like Evil Dead the game, Prop Night even. I've never played Prop Night. Evil Dead I played. It was very mechanically complex. There's Ghost Hunters game or Ghostbusters game that came out recently. There's another competitor. Identity V, which is basically a mobile kind of Dead by Daylight inspired game. And then the one I really, really wish succeeded. It was, in my opinion, even better than Dead by Daylight, was VHS, or Video Horror Society. I really miss VHS. It was a very, very good game, and it actually was announced to be shut down before I even created this channel. So yeah, that is something that will never happen, unfortunately. Unless if they somehow make a sequel to it that will work. But yeah. VHS. Evolve was another one. I'm not sure if that was really in the horror aspect, but it was an asymmetrical game. Prop Night, Evil Dead, Friday the 13th. Last Year, Identity V. Killer Crowns from Outer Space is coming out soon, so there's that as well. And then the newly released Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, I really hope it does well, because it is a very, very fun game. 10 out of 10, definitely recommend it. There really is no way to compare Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Dead by Daylight. They are practically two different games. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's 3 killers versus 4 survivors, and Dead by Daylight's 1 killer versus 4 survivors. Now, there is not much going for them that makes them very similar. There's really only 2 things, maybe 3, that I can think of. They're asymmetrical, they're horror, they have survivors, and they have Leatherface. That's it. That's all that's really similar about them. They are 2 completely different games. Like, someone could be a god in Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game, but could suck horribly on Dead by Daylight, because they're completely different. They need entirely different skill sets. More for the killer side, less than the survivor side. And that's another thing. survivors can fight back and backstab the killers or family members, and can even stab Grandpa, which is a semi-vital mechanic. Not semi, it is a vital mechanic to Texas Chainsaw Massacre the game. Exits, or I guess objectives in general. They're completely different. Absolutely. Survivors in Dead by Daylight, they repair 5 gens. And Escape, they open an exit, they repair 5 gens, open an exit, escape before dying. It's as simple as that. In Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it is deeper than that. There are many ways to escape. A vital mechanic to Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the lockpick system. In order to leave anyway, you have to use a lockpick. Someone, not necessarily you, because someone could open up the basement, you could use fuse or water pump. But they are a vital mechanic and are needed in every game because you need to get out of the basement in order to escape. There again are 4 escapes, which are all incredibly well thought out. There is the water pump exit, there's the fuse box exit, then there's the rear exit and the front exit, which are both defended by a generator of sorts, which powers an electrical fence that you have to turn it off. There are many other mechanics, such as the chicken mechanic. There's the bone mechanic, which allows for things such as disabling noisemakers, which is another thing which allows killers to detect the survivors. Bones can disable the hitchhiker's traps. Can stab people, not other survivors, but the killers and Grandpa. Can kill chickens, so they don't detect you, and then nearby killers know that you're there. And yeah, then there's the health system, which I think is pretty well implemented. Allows you to heal using various items, including healing medicines. And yeah, your goal is to try and escape the killers. That's one of the only things that are common between Dead by Daylight and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Another major mechanic, but on this time for Dead by Daylight, is looping. While you can do it in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if they happen to get 2 killers, sandwiching basically, where there's a crack or there's a escape, not an escape, a barricade, that's what it's called, a barricade that you can sneak through. If they have 2 killers on both sides, you're practically dead. Unless if you happen to maybe be playing Anna, which allows her to endure more hits, or if you are just insanely fast and can get to a well nearby. So there's not really looping. If it's 1 killer, you can definitely loop. Well, more or less wait till they come to the other side, go back through the escape, wait for them to go to the other side, and then go back through the escape again. So, not really looping, but in Dead by Daylight, looping is a fundamental mechanic of the game. Although, I don't believe it was actually purposely made for Dead by Daylight. It definitely is an important and vital mechanic. So there, we got my comparison. I can believe they are both completely different games. And obviously, Dead by Daylight is going to have a ton more content. It has 7 years of perks, killers, survivors, maps, items, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I believe they're on 32 killers now, 33 with the next paragraph coming in November, which I really do hope it's Predator, because that would be an amazing chapter for Dead by Daylight, or paragraph, I guess, for Dead by Daylight. But I guess we will have to wait and see. So there's obviously going to be much more content in Dead by Daylight. But then again, Texas Chainsaw Massacre supplies you with 10 characters, which can all be leveled up to level 10, and various perks, powers, and other things, which can go up to level 3. and I've been playing for a decent, not like an insane amount, but I've been playing for roughly a week, and I've gotten almost two characters up to level 10. So it definitely takes a while to get characters up to the levels that they need to be, or like that you want them to be, in order to make very good builds. So we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we have the comparison. What about fun? As I had already stated previously, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is incredibly fun. Even for me, when I started as a beginner, it was very fun, especially the killer side. I enjoy the killer side a lot, but survivor side or victim side is also very, very fun as well. It is incredibly fun utilizing all the mechanics. As you can see in the background gameplay, I haven't really found my main as a survivor, because I don't really play too much survivor. But for my backstabbing grandpa build, I use Leland. But for killer, I have definitely started to main Johnny. I don't know, I just really like Johnny, and I will be releasing soon, sometime one of these weeks, some gameplay of me playing as Johnny with my semi-blood harvesting build that I have created. Anyways, back to topic. They are both incredibly fun, and recently, with the new Alien chapter that is just released, I have been having a load of fun with that too. Or I guess the PTB is released. It's going to release tomorrow. Keep your eyes out for that. I will definitely be having some gameplay of some builds that I have made, as well as showcasing some certain cosmetics maybe that release. I have to wait and see. But yes, I really have enjoyed both Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Dead by Daylight. I've had a lot more fun with Dead by Daylight recently, with the release of the Xenomorph, than I have in a while. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre, from the very start, it has been incredibly fun. So I would 100% recommend them both. But that will be it for this video, folks. If you all enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing, as any support, any kind of support, is greatly appreciated. But I will see you all next time with more Dead by Daylight and Texas Chainsaw Massacre discussions, gameplay, and videos of that sorts. Oh, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.